Good morning, friends. Okay. So I'm making sure everything's good. Okay. So today, the one that we're talking about today, it kind of actually leans over from the one yesterday that we spoke about because I think how important it is to teach you guys about gratitude and just to repeat myself over and over again until y'all start doing it. And some of y'all are, and some of y'all I don't know, but I really hope that people are taking this seriously and taking gratitude seriously. But this is still a part of the devotional that I read yesterday, and it's called Choosing Gratitude. And it says, for things we take for granted. And it says, often people ask how I manage to be happy despite having no arms and no legs. The quick answer is that I have a choice. I can be angry about not having limbs, or I can be thankful that I have a purpose. I chose gratitude. And it says from Nick. I don't know how to say his last name. And then it says, to me, a faith in Jesus Christ that is not aligned with the poor, it's nothing. And that's by a singer. And then it says, everything I used and consumed and enjoyed before 8 a.m. this morning was a luxury. I woke up and used indoor plumbing and running water and a clean toilet. I put on my workout shoes and clean, well-fitting clothes. I used electricity and ground coffee beans and enjoyed the fresh coffee. I was in a warm home with a healthy body and a healthy husband and 3 healthy kiddos, and a home where love is the foundation for our marriage and our children. Water, plumbing, shoes, heat, love, clothing, freedom, health. And that was just the start of my day. Friends, today's reflection is not to get guilty. It is to still get grateful. It is to look at the grace and favor around us, near us, in our homes, and to give thanks. And I believe that gratitude is a spark for other beautiful things: sharing, serving, loving, inviting, caring, sacrificing, empathizing, softening, and reaching. Gratitude is a heart posture that is open and humble and very tied to sharing and giving. We cannot possibly be grabby when we are grateful. We are hands open and heart open and lives open. What if just today, we whispered thank you for each thing that we took for granted? Whispering thank you for these as we tie the shoes. Breathing thank you for coffee as we take a sip. Murmuring thank you for water as I shower with clean, warm water running down my face. And maybe we will look at a little bit crazy, but wouldn't we rather be crazy and grateful than sane and entitled? And then it says, maybe that's just me, but I bet not. I've been in a really good company with y'all. Wherever you are reading this right now, you can see comfort around you. You can see a sense of grace near you. You can see the love surrounding you. Through every day, concrete spoons and bread and shoes to abstract love and peace and joy. Richness is our real reality, and gratitude is our response. Where are the places in our lives we complain the most? Breathe gratitude over them, and we will breathe life into them. Grumbling leads to dead ends. Gratitude leads us to paths of life. And then it just says like a quick little prayer, and it says, God, thank you for shoes, for heat, for water, for healthy lungs and hopeful hearts. Help our gratitude to overflow toward grace and good deeds. Fill us of guilt and shame, and free us of guilt and shame, and instead give us grace and joy and gratitude for what we have. Teach us to then use our freedom to bless others and extend our riches to others. Show us what it is that you'd like us to be thankful for today. Show us what you'd like us to give to others. Show us those in need. Show us how to help from our abundance, and then our abundance of treasures of time and talents. You are a good father. You are a good father to all. So I know that was really long, so I do apologize. But it just kind of gives you a sense as to what I was talking about yesterday, paying attention to the little details. And you guys, again, after I got off this prayer Zoom yesterday, I don't know if you were on yesterday. If you weren't, I was just talking about paying attention to the little details of things that you normally look past. And like, if you feel like you constantly go to the same route every single day, which all of us do in some sense, maybe you go to the same grocery store, maybe you go to the same gas station, you go to the same dog park, you go to the same gym. There's so many different scenarios. And so next time that you do that today, go on your route and pay attention to the small details and start giving thanks over them. And it's going to sound probably weird, especially if you're giving thanks to like a weird field, but maybe bless over that thing and say, you know what, God, use that field for good. Have a business owner come to that and bless people through that. Or maybe that's going to be in someone's home. It doesn't matter. And that's just going to pull you back into a sense of gratitude when this world is crazy and when things aren't going your way. And maybe you have had traumatic experiences happen, or maybe you found out some devastating news, or maybe someone that you know like really hurt your feelings. I don't know, but it brings you back to a sense of gratitude. And that's just something that I really want us to take hold of, because in this season of life, we go through seasons, all different seasons, so we never know who's going to go through what season and which moment. But when you're going through that season, it's the most important to be grateful. But when you're out of that season, I've talked about it before, you can help someone else through their season, and you can help guide them saying you are grateful. Like, you could be grateful for the little things today. And so before I even, like, after I read that, once I woke up, I just started looking around and I was like, wow. And so I got out my journal and I just wrote down all the little things that I was grateful for. Normally when I'm doing manifestations, I write into full detail, just like 3 things that I'm grateful for, but I actually wrote down like everything. And so I can kind of read off just so you can kind of like understand the words that I say, instead of like, I'm like a visual learner, or I like examples. And so maybe this can help you guys. So it said, today I am grateful for the comfort of my home, my coffee and the smell of it, my team who is literally blowing up the chat, my puppies who are always a burst of energy in the morning and hold me accountable to wake up, my Bible to lead me to spirituality, my journal to help me get thoughts out of my head, my social media to help me communicate with the world today and make a difference, my time because I truly own my time, which is a true blessing and something I will never want to take for granted again, my plants because they bring such brightness in this room and home, my car to provide me transportation from point A to point B, Dallas because he provides me with happiness and love and joy and fulfillment. And like, I just kept going on. And so obviously some of those, I'm sorry, my dogs are being really loud. Obviously some of those are things that aren't like in this room with me, but I'm still being present and grateful for the moment. So it was just saying, like, when you wake up in the morning, you're actually receiving abundance right when you wake up. And we don't honestly notice that because I'm just gonna move. They're so annoying. We don't normally notice that because we are honestly constantly on autopilot. I was reading the book from Jay Shetty, like I've told y'all about, and we're constantly on autopilot. So we don't pay attention to like the small details anymore. It's kind of like you do the same routine every day. Well, you start to become not really grateful because it's just like, I'm used to this. Like, why would I be grateful? Because I'm just used to this by now. And so you don't even like notice the little blessings that are coming into your life. And so I know this might sound a little bit repetitive from yesterday, but that should be a good thing. And it should be a good sign to show you that everything is working together yesterday, to show you that maybe this is a spot in the area that you need to work on the most. Because if you've been struggling in like a bad mindset, you've been in this weird headspace, or you've been thinking about quitting another job, or you've been thinking about like all the negative things that could go wrong. I know that Rachel and I spoke, I think it was yesterday on here, where she was saying that she relates to me in a lot of ways because anytime something good happens, she feels like something bad has to follow. And that was like something that I honestly used to struggle with. Last night I was on my drive home and I had like an hour drive home. We were out of town and I like just started thinking, and I was like, I really hope and pray that like, I kind of dug down deep and I was like, I've noticed that if I have something good happen in my life, I feel guilty because I think it's at the expense of someone else. And that just doesn't make sense. Life doesn't give you a trade-off. God doesn't give you a trade-off saying, oh, I'm going to bless you, but I'm going to torture this person over here. It just doesn't happen like that. And we often think of it like that. And so I was just thinking on my drive home, and it just got me really, really like just thinking. I was like, how stupid is that? And so if you're kind of in that headspace too, if you like say it out loud and then you try to sit here and make evidence of it, so you start trying to like lay out examples, like actually try to lay out an example. And I tried to, and I was like, okay, so maybe one person got upset with me over here, but that's not in my control. That's not anything that has to do with me. Like, and so you start like nitpicking at all the situations that you have in your mind that you're thinking about. And you're like, okay, that actually really doesn't make sense. And I was reading the book yesterday, and it was saying all the negative things that you think in your mind, say them out loud, and like look at yourself in the mirror and say them out loud and act as if, or if you have someone in front of you, act as if you're saying it to your little sister or your daughter, or your kid or whatever, whoever's really close to you. Act like you're saying the things that you think, but you're addressing them to your significant other or your daughter or your sister or whatever. It's going to make you feel really silly, okay? And I know that I would never once tell someone else that they are not worthy, that they can't do this, that they can't do something that they dream of, that God is torturing them because anything that good happens to them, they're going to sit here and curse someone else. If you say those things out loud, like genuinely say the lies in your head, or genuinely say the things that are just constantly keeping you up at night out loud. And when you do that, Number one, it's going to help you not have a hold over yourself anymore. It's going to help you create that like openness to that lie, and then you start letting positivity flow in, and you can start replacing it with the truth. And we talk about that all the time in Winning the War in Your Mind. Come here. Winning the War in Your Mind, but that's what the book allows you to do. And so I think it's going to bring you back. If y'all hear my dog's toy, it's every single time he just tries to play with me while I'm on here. Hey, oh my gosh, such a puppy. I love it, but it's fine. I wrote him in my gratitudes this morning, so I love him. Rachel, I love your dogs. So I don't know, but I really think that I wanted to hit on this topic again, because I've said it several times, but I think that people overlook these things, or they're like, yeah, I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. I have, a healthy family, but that's expected. I have this crap going on. Like, why would I have this crap going on if God promises me a good life? If God promises me this? And it's just like I had mentioned, I cannot remember if it was yesterday or the day before, there is a reason for your season. So that's why God always brings you back to gratitude, to be grateful for the things that you have, because sometimes we do have to live without, to notice the things that we're grateful for. There are some times where, and I read something, I think it was actually in my Bible this morning, it was saying like, God will take away the things that you idol in order for you to sit here and see that he's the true person to idolize. And then he'll replace the things that you once missed with greater things. And then you'll start to really see the significance of what he does through those things. It's not that they bring significance, but he brings a significance through those things. And so it kind of made me think, because I was like thinking, anytime I've ever idolized something before him and I've put things before him, I realized that things got taken away. And I can relate this to this business. Like, I've lost strength a lot of times before. And I truly, 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 truly believe, besides maybe a few times where I think the few times more recently where I've lost rank, it wasn't necessarily because I was being punished. It's just business. But before that, where I lost rank, I started putting things before him. I started putting people's wants before him. I started putting people's wants before my own. I started putting people's questions, and I started training my team before I even looked at my Bible in the morning. I started putting things before him. I started putting this business. I started putting social media. I started putting my relationship with Dallas, and I started putting all these other things before him. And he was like, nope, sister, I'm going to take this stuff away. I'm going to take it away. And every single time it brings me back down to a state of gratitude. And honestly, I don't consider that a loss. I consider that a huge gain, because it gives me a perspective I wouldn't have received before. And so anytime you lose something, or anytime you're in a season where you're like, I just don't understand, I just don't get it, I don't get it, chances are he's just trying to show you something in that moment. Chances are he is trying to create you to be in this gratitude moment where you can live without, or you can live with plenty. Either way, you need him. And it's crazy to have that feeling of confidence when you realize that he takes you through the moments of gratitude. And I don't know what the topic will be about next week when I talk about it, but I'll pray about that, what I need to talk about next week. But that's something that I know that starting off this weekend with, I told y'all I was at a pool party last weekend for 4th of July. And even at the pool party, where I could have just been like, I was drinking and stuff. So it wasn't like I wasn't like in tune with everybody. It wasn't like I was enjoying myself or anything like that. I just sat there and I just like was sipping on my lemonade. And I was like, you know what? This tree is beautiful. This pond is great that it has fish in it. And it's just like, I just started saying things out loud because I was just truly grateful for that moment that I was in. And so you can literally be anywhere and do this. You could be sitting in the same room that you sit in every single day, in the same situation that you're at every single day, and ask God to say, God, what do you want to reveal to me today? And I bet you, you're going to find one little detail around you that you've never noticed before. Maybe it's a crack in the wall. Okay. Not saying a crack in the wall is a blessing, but I'm saying it's going to bring you more awareness and more presence. And it's going to show you that, okay, God, you're real. Like, you're showing me the presence of this moment. You're showing me what to be grateful for. And I don't know. I just think that before you complain, or before you think about complaining to your leader, or complaining to me, or complaining if you're praying out loud and you're complaining to God, which is okay. I complain to God. It's fine. We're human. Before you start doing those things, though, do gratitudes. And then after that, see what there is to complain about. I woke up, and it wasn't that I was frustrated this morning at all. I'm very thankful. I'm in a good mood. I woke up energized, but I woke up and it was like, instantly, like, the what if statements started rolling into my mind. Like, what if you can't help these people go Ruby this month? What if you can't teach duplication like you want to? What if these people don't earn retreat like you're claiming that they would? And then I was like, oh, no, it's I haven't even had a sip of coffee yet. This is way too early to be thinking about this. So I just got out my journaling list and just started writing out all the things that I was grateful for. And the paragraph that I would have wrote out my frustrations with, I normally write out to God every day. Like, it probably would have been this length. It was like this. And it wasn't like a complaint. It was like, God, can you guide me through this? Instead, if I would have started with the complaints, I would have been like, God, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? What is this frustration coming from? And when you shift your focus, it changes the freaking game. So if you go through something today that you don't quite understand, like, yeah, and this is such a stupid example. But it'll help you. So I've been manifesting about money, and I've been manifesting about a lot of other things in my life. And I went to the gas pump to go get gas the other day. And normally I always get my Kroger points because I remember my number. And for the life of me, I could not say I could not remember my Kroger number. Like, literally could not remember. I've entered it in like 3 different times, and I was like, I don't ever forget this. Why am I forgetting this today? And I didn't save money on my gas. And so it cost me a little bit more. And in that moment, I was like, this sucks. Like, what the freak? Like, I wanted to save the $3 that I normally save. Like, whatever. And in that moment, I was like, you know what? No, I'm just grateful I can get gas. And so I had to change my perspective over really quickly. So if you have something that happens to you today that's not necessarily in the alignment of what you want to happen, maybe a team member quits. I had a customer text me yesterday saying she wanted to cancel. Okay, that happens. But at the end of the day, is it going to ruin my day? No, I know God's going to replace it just like he always does. He's going to provide just like he always does. And so shift your focus. And then once she texted me saying that she wanted to cancel, all I said out loud was, God, I know that you're going to replace her with someone even better. I just know it. Like, just be confident that God's going to do the things that needs to happen in order for you to move forward in your life. And so I think it's just all about perspective. And a lot of us have a jagged view of perspective because a lot of things have happened in our life that we can't quite explain. A lot of things have happened where we're just like, we feel like a victim and we get angry, and that's okay. You can feel angry at times, but don't let that consume you. Go back to the gratitudes through the seasons of the things that you don't quite understand, because I could tell y'all things that happened in my childhood and you'd be like, oh my gosh, why? I still like wake up some days and I'm like, why did I go through that? My friends didn't. Or why did I go through that? Why did God choose me to go through that? And at the end of the day, I can't sit here and ask why and drive myself crazy. I can only say, you know what? I became a better person out of it. And so you have to just gain that perspective. And I hope that helps. I hope it brings people back to gratitude today, especially since it's Fridays. I love Fridays. Fridays just give me a new source of energy out of nowhere. And I'm going out of town, which, by the way, I was going to tell you guys, I can go ahead and end this.